Welcome to Code Receiving. If you could remember the last time we talked about link and we also talked about block and inline element in CSS. And we're able to also show you how you can actually change from inline element to block element and block to inline element. Also use our link to show you inline block. Today, we want to talk about positioning in CSS. How do you position your work? And what are the advantages of positioning your work? Well, if you check some website, you see where they write, you see aside. You see that aside, some people put their positioning on that aside area, or some on top, because every HTML. In fact, let's start. By the time we start, we start telling you one after the other. So let's start with what are the positioning types? Of course, we have three major types of positioning, but there is one that's also a type, but it's not always included, which is static positioning. Now, in every HTML you code, let me take you to HTML. In every HTML you code, there is a box. Okay, there is a box on it. So that box is static. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. We told you before now that writing here in code is all about bosses. Okay, it's different bosses. But the one that you can actually influence or change is what we're going to talk about today. And there are three in number, namely relative positioning, absolute positioning, and fixed positioning. I want to take them one by one. And for us to do that, we want to create another file. Okay, so I'll create a file and I'll name the file position.html. Position.html. For those who don't know how to create a file, this is how you create a file. If it's an HTML file, always end it with .html. Also want to create another file, and that should be a CSS file. So I also write that in position.css. So if it's a CSS file, always end it with .css. Okay, position.css file. We've got now position.html file and position.css file. So now that we've explained, let's now go ahead and start with the first one, position.html file. As usual, you know what to do. HTML file, that's what we're using. Or you can use your shift and paste exclamation mark for you to get all the necessary things. Let me open so you see what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about, okay? So I can open completely for you. So so if you check, you see everything now. Let's go to the title and give him a title. So give him positioning tutorial in CSS. Positioning tutorial in CSS. Okay. And let's link the style sheet I just put now. So to do that, you click on link, you type link. So under href, you put it, what do you use? You use position. So you can save with anything. But remember, anything you use to save, that's what you use. Position.css. And contrast for save. So let's now come to the body. And on the body, we want to give the body a div. Okay. Let's give him an ID. Okay. So the ID should be, let's give him position. That becomes the ID. Okay. So email after the body, create a div and also give the div an ID. Okay. The ID should be container. Now to create ID, just give a space, type ID, press enter, and then type the name you want to give the ID. Give me my container. So you bring it down because it's going to contain everything you want to work right now. So bring it down. We now move on to we want to create H1, which is the title positioning tutorial. Positioning tutorial in CSS. Then you create another one, H2, which is where we're going to start the work straight away. We'll type it. First one, we want to start the relative position. Relative position. Relative positioning. Then we create a div for that. Okay, create a div. Remember, a div is an empty void stuff, but something will happen. And we give the div an ID. The ID should be relative. Yeah, we're going to work with two. We're going to give him ID and class together. So also know that can give ID and class together. So the ID should be relative. I also give him a class, and the class should be box. Class should be box. Okay. So you come over here and type relative. Relative. So let's copy. So our work will be fast track. Let's copy from H2 to see for copy. We paste this into three places. First one, the last one. Then we change the wordings. The first one, the second one now should be absolute, which is absolute positioning. Absolute. Please check spelling. Make sure spelling is okay. Absolute positioning. Then the second one should be, oh, it's like I've made a mistake, right? A2 should be relative and absolute positioning. Clean up this. Should be neat and tidy. Relative positioning, relative positioning, relative positioning. Second one, absolute positioning. Absolute positioning. Also under the ID should be absolute. Absolute. Then the class should remain boss. Then in between opening and closing tag, we also put absolute. Okay. Absolute. Then we put the third one, like I didn't, that's why I made a mistake. I'll copy it again and put the third one. Let's copy and paste it. And this one should be the fixed positioning. Fixed positioning. And here we put it fixed. Then the class remembers, and here we put it fixed. So go ahead and prepare these three div. Ctrl S for save. Let's check whether we did the right thing. Open with your lifesaver. Exactly. See it? They have position, tutorial, relative, absolute, and fixed. So let's go to CSS, position.css now, and style this that we did. So the first one, which is our body, what do we give the body? Let's come over, we give the body positioning. So it should be dot positioning, no ID. So it should be hash position. Remember your ID starts with hash. So without much ado, you click your hash. Hash positioning. Open your code browser. Let's just give him a background color, okay? Let me a background color of blue. The rest for save, it applies. So go to the next one, which is our container. Should also be hash container. Open your code browser. Let's also give me a background color. Okay, give me a background color of azure. Okay, let's give him azure. Rest for save. That is it. So let's give this a border. Okay, so it should be a border of say 10 pixels, 10 pixels solid 10 pieces solid, or should we give white smoke? No, if we give him white smoke, we will not see it. I'll just give him 10 pieces solid or red. Okay, red. So you can see it. So we'll go ahead and start our work. First of all, let's check down here and start with the class, which is a bus. Okay, class of bus. There's a bus. Meanwhile, before that, let's give it a padding, please. Let's give it a padding so I can be able to see. Let's give me a padding for this. And I want to change this. I don't want, let's not use red, please. Okay, let me use 10 pixels solid blue violet. And let me give me a padding of maybe 10% or whatever. Okay, let me a padding of 10 pixels. Ctrl S for save. Of course, everything appears. So let's go to the next one, which is our boss. We want to just give him some necessary. So that boss is been one that all our div, the three positioning, let's classify them from the class and then give him a style. So it should be dot box. Dot box. Dot box. Open your code browser. Let's start with a background. Give me a background of blue. Background color of blue. Then let's give the color for our write up. Let's give him a color of azure. No, let's give him aqua. Color of aqua. Okay, can be aquamarine or whatever, but any color you like, just give it. Then we'll now give him a width. The width should be 200 pieces. 200 pieces. And also give him a height. The height should be same 200 pieces. Height of 200 pieces. Then let's just put the normal finishing touches on the write up. Let's do test align. Let's send it to center. This align should be center. Should go to center. Then for it to go to center, I want to do something here. I want to achieve a goal that horizontally to be centered, vertically to be centered. How do we do that? Use line height. Okay. So give me a line height that will be exactly the same specification with our width and height. Okay. So the line height should also be 200 pixels. 200 pixels. Let's check our work. So I won't just do without checking. Yeah, everything is showing. You see it. So it become at the center, just vertically centered, horizontally centered. So let's continue working on it. Let's transform the write up to uppercase. Text transformed. Text transform. Let's give him uppercase so I can capital letter. And it look like it's not. Let's make it bigger, okay? Or bold. Let's make it bold. Okay. So text transform. Let's no, don't text align, text indent. Sorry, font. Okay. Let's give him a font width should be bold. Then let's give him font size. Font size. Maybe 18 pieces should be alright. If it's too big, we reduce it, but 18 pieces should go. 18 pieces. Control S for sales, so I'll be seeing what we're doing, okay? Then font family. Let me font family. Font family. I always prefer area, vertical, and sans serif. Okay. So you can continue giving whatever you want to give. It's proper for you to give anything you like, okay? So having done this, let's now start our work. So we've gotten the explanation of relative, absolute, and fixed. And mind you, we told you that we are talking about if you are creating a process like this on CSS, you have a goal. Sometimes you have to your goal, your boss to be relative. That relative doesn't mean that it's relative to anything. No, it's just relative. Okay, so it will appear relative, just relative positioning. So you can send it to anywhere. Easy for you to send. You can move around, move the boys around one place or the other. While absolute positioning is one that acts in relation to his parent or ancestor. Okay, by the time we start it up, you will see how it will go. Okay, while the fixed positioning is fixed, it doesn't go anywhere. So with this general knowledge, let's now move into positioning proper. So we'll start with the first one, which is relative positioning. How do you do that? You start with position. So let's start with the first one, hash relative. Remember, we give him a idea of hash. So hash relative. Open your code browser and start with your position and give him relative positioning. Control S for save. Of course, it didn't do anything, but as I'm talking to you now, this boss is now relative. Okay, it's not relative. So how can we tell that this is relative even though it remains like this? Of course, you can do that or check if your work applies by using the properties. Okay, positioning, as a matter of fact, has four properties. Namely, you can send it to the top, give him a pixel, a number at the top, maybe 10 pixels or whatever. You can also send it to the bottom, maybe the bottom, 10 pixels or whatever. Remember, you see movement. You can move the box to the bottom or move it to the top. Also move it to the left or to the right. So these are how you know that it's moving. So for us to check if these balls have turned to relative, let's see if it will move. And for us to do that, let's start with the property top. So I give him a top of say 10 pieces and let's save it. Look as if nothing is happening, but something is happening. Let me give him a left of same 10 pieces and let's save it. Of course, that moved down a bit. But you might not be convinced, so let's make this 10 to be minus 10. You see that? So you now be convinced that it's moving. Minus 10. Control S for save. What did you see? Remember, it's the same space with this. There's a little space between now, before now. But look at relative now. That's taking all over all the space. Now let's move the top and see there's a space between here because giving 10 pixels. Now let's move it up to even pass this relative. You won't see this relative position again if I give this thing minus 50 pixels. So see what will happen right now. Let's give him minus 50 pixels. Let's for save. What did you see? That's covered the normal title. So definitely this is moving. It's now relative. So let's take it back to where we were before now, which is 10 pesos. Okay. So giving back the 10 pesos and let's make this the same 10 pesos. Let's for save, which will come back. That's come back and we can answer relative positioning, which is our title. You can actually design your title, okay, make it possible all these things we put the cancel there on the title. I don't want to do that because I don't want to waste all our time. So let's go to the next one. Now, relative, we told you is in relation to nothing. It moves wherever you send it to move. What about absolute? Absolute doesn't wait for you to move him because it's always absolute to the parents. It's always in relation to the parents, okay, or the ancestral. Meaning that the moment you type position absolute, it will move very close to the parent, any parent that is close, ancestral that is close to him. If none of them is there, it will go straight to the top. Okay, so it's that by the time we add absolute now, you saw what happened to this our fixed position. You saw what happened to fixed position. Let me bring it out more so you see. So let's go over to absolute with this in mind. As usual, remember we are still using ID absolute. So open your code browser, position, make it absolute. Let's for save. Where's our fixed position again? Here's our fixed position. Fixed position is nowhere to be found. What happened? Immediately, absolute left his own position and went close to in relation to his parent. And what are his parents? The parent is here. Okay, that is the container. But if you remember in container, there's nothing, we didn't put anything on the container right now. We didn't give him any position, but we'll change it very soon. But meanwhile, since there's no fixed position here, let me remove the fixed position so I can see, you can see absolute completely here. Okay, so let's go to our HTML and I want to remove this fixed position. I'll bring it back, don't worry. So, but for now, let's just remove it. So I see our explanation. Let's cut it off, okay? And Ctrl S for save. So you now see absolute has come over. You see what absolute did? Let me make it bold. You see it? It take over all the position. So that is what absolute can do. Okay, that's why I said move so I can see what will happen when we remove it. So let's bring it back and then continue our work. As for save. So that is the absolute position for you. It positions itself close to the parents, in relation to the parents. Now let's now give in the normal properties that we gave others, like top and bottom. So we can send it out so we can see our fixed position back. So let's send it to the top first. Let's give me a top of 50 pieces. I can go and disturb those on the top. Okay. And giving me, let it be on the left, maybe 10 pieces left. To rest for save. Yeah, it has gone up. Okay. So if you know that merely a cross relative position and go straight to relation to his parents. Now let me now give me parents a position. Let's give me this parent to be, let me make him position relative. You see how if you disturb the relative position that is there already now. Position, let's give him relative for the parent now. And let's do contrast for save. Did you see it? It covers everything now. You can't see anything. So that is what absolute do. You always move in relation to the parent. Why are you learning this? The reason is very simple. It enables you to know the kind of position type to use whenever you have something related to this. Okay, like I told you, some people use it for their own aside, some use it for other things that are very important. So you can know where to position your work. You know what absolute can do, you know what fixed can do, and you know what relative can do. So that way you know how to position them and how to make use of them. So having explained this, let's remove the parent position, let's move what give to the parents because we don't want to actually put position on those ones. Save. And let's now bring our absolute back to normal place. Let's take it. We've done top, top and left, top and left. Let's go to bottom, okay? Let's do bottom. And let's make it bottom 0. Bottom should be 0 pieces. And let's send it to the right. Okay, we've done left all this way. So right should be 0 pieces. Right should be 0 pieces. Or just 0. Anyone you write is gonna go. Right 0. Just for save. So this will find our fixed position, okay? Our absolute position. And now our fixed position is back. So let's work on fixed position. So we saw happen to on fixed position. He behaves like absolute, but he has his own specificity as well. So let's go to hash. So ID for fixed. Open your code browser. Position. We want it to be fixed this time around. Fixed. Ctrl S for save. Did you see it? Yeah, it has come over here. So let's now give him a bottom 0. Give me a bottom of 0 and then send it to the left as well. Before we do explanation on this, bottom 0 should be in the left, and the left should be 0. To S for save. Yeah, it has come down. So fees, just like the word fees, it remains fees in any place. If you like, send it to the bottom here. If you like, send it to the topmost 0. Any place you send it, whatever it is, it will remain fixed. How do you know that this thing will remain fixed? Let us increase our container. Let's increase the so I can be able to scroll. Let's see if I can add scroll bar to this CSS. So let's add a width to it. Let me make the width 2000 pixels. 1000 pixels. And make the height 2000 pixels. Height 2000 pixels. Now let's do Ctrl S for save. Now we can have a scroll bar. Thank God. So let's now scroll this one. Remember, be watching on the feast as you're scrolling. You want to see what happened to the feast position that will remain feast as we are scrolling this work. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. If you check, I didn't put feast here. I just put hash without putting the number feast. Please always, if you want to achieve a goal and it didn't work, first of all, you have to troubleshoot, okay? Find out why it's not working by debugging. You check everywhere, make sure everything is right. If everything is all right, it's going to work. If it's not all right, it can't work, okay? So always make sure that what you are doing is right, okay? So I now put the feast hash feast. For an opener, if you remember, we put hash absolute, hash relative, okay? It's supposed to be hash feast, but I didn't type the feast. So now let's save our work and then scroll now and see what will happen, okay? So be monitoring the feast. That is where your eye should be. This feast position. Look at it, feast, and watch what happened to relative and absolute. You see, they are moving, they are moving, they are moving. Eventually, they've left the whole place. You can't see them again. What about feast? Feast remain feast. Now let's go top. Let's bring them down. You see, they are coming down, coming down. Feast remain feast. So that's why the word feast is feast. So you know where to put your feast position. Like those who use Aside on their website, they use feast. You feast it there permanently there. Maybe like your social media where people can come in contact with you, link up with you, to put that feast in one particular aspect of your website. Okay, you can put all these things anywhere. You can send it anywhere, and it will work for you. Okay, so this is all I want you to learn about absolute, relative, and feast position. But I don't want you to go yet. I have a project for you to do in this. If you're able to do this project, congratulations. But I will do it. But before you watch my, please see if you can attempt it on your own. And if you get the same result, then you can now check. If you make any mistake, you can check mine to correct yours. If you like what you are learning, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so that YouTube algorithm can take this and send to many other places. This tutorial is free. The only way you can help us is by giving us subscribing to our channel and giving us a thumbs up. And besides, when you subscribe, each time we release video, like every week, we try to release like 2-3 videos or sometimes 2 videos in a week on this, on programming, especially web development. Each time we release this video, be the first to get it and watch it. And please share with your loved ones, okay? Let me wait a little for you to subscribe before I take you to the project. So please subscribe now. Have you subscribed? Please click it. Click it, please. So if you check there, let me bring you there. It's just a flag using absolute positioning, phase positioning to prepare. Should I take it to flag? I don't want to use flag first. No, that should be our final project. Let me not give you that for now. I'm not give you that for now. So I want you to use your knowledge of what you did now to prepare this circle, okay? If you take a look at this, let me open it for you. This is the circle I'm talking about. Yeah, this circle, like this. Okay, it's not just a circle, but there is a, you see it, it has a, if you, we have the, you have a blue box, and in between the blue box, you have a circle, okay? So use positioning, also use your method or make sure that if you make the circle is very, just almost at the left side, close very down, and and if you check here, let me give you some hints. You know that it's 500 pixels for the width and the height is 300 pixels, and for that reason, if you want this to be at the center of this place that it is right now, you also have to make this at 150 pixels, which is half of this, okay? And this one will be 250 pixels, which is half of this, okay? And as usual, the top is 200 pixels, okay? 200 pieces, 200 pieces. So if you're able to achieve this, I'll tell you congratulations. If you're not able to do it, don't worry. I'm going to walk you through it. But first of all, prepare it and see if you can achieve this using this positioning class that we just taught you, and see if you can achieve this. If you're able, then come over and see how I do it. I use my own to correct yourself from any few mistakes that you made. Okay? So attempt it now. Are you attempting it? Are you able to do it? Let's watch as you attempt it. How far, friends? Were you able to achieve that? Of course you should. You should. Okay. If you check everything, this is it. Completely achieved. Okay. So it's very simple. What do I do? I want to I create a file and name it circle.html. And on that file, I create two div. Okay. The first div has to be the parent div, the container div, and I give that blue because the container has a blue color. Okay. While the body, I can also give the body a background, but I didn't give the body any background. So I went to the second div, which is the one that has this circle, and I name it div.circle. Okay. So that div.circle, I just give it div.circle, and that's all. This is the only thing you've done your HTML. No much work. Okay. So you now come over to create those buses. And for that, I went to circle.css because I actually create a file, circle.css. And then I start with the circle first. And you, of course, if you don't know, let me tell you, border radius. If you want to actually turn this bus now to a circle, you give him a border radius of half of the normal height. Okay, if the height is 100%, you give border radius of 50%. Immediately this will turn to a circle. So that is the logic I use here. Border radius is 50%. Background color of red. Give me a width of 200 pixels, height 200 pixels, in line with our calculation. If you check calculation, 200 pixels width, 200 pixels height is equal. Okay, I gave him that width, and this now after that it will be here. The red will be here. It won't come down here. For it to come down here, I have to use my positioning. You can use relative position, you can use absolute position, you can use fixed position. Any position can go with it. Okay, you got put your position, and the top, as usual, you give him the top, which is this 150 pesos, and the width, which is this, which is the left, I gave him 250 pesos. And this is it. I merely I did that. Merely the boss. Let's go back to our work. The boss merely come down to this place. Okay. And then I have to start with the blue. The background color is blue. You wait 500 pieces that was already mentioned. The whole work has already been measured for you, just for you to fix them. Okay, 500 pixels and 300 pixels for height. And I did the same thing. And after that, you normally position and make it absolute. You can also make it relative, fixed, or whatever. It will still work. Okay, just that to apply. If you remember, if you put it fixed to be fixed. Okay. So mainly I bring position absolute and then top 200 pixels, left 200 pixels, and now come down here. Normally it was supposed to be up here if you are doing it, but come down here. And that is how I achieve this. Very simple. Very, very simple. I know you can do it, okay? But please don't just go. Subscribe for my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Share with your loved one. And see you in our next class, which is also a project. We're going to create the flag of Laos. See you there. I can't wait to see you. Thank you.